Hi friends, Shay here. So today I am here to talk to you about a few series that I have recently finished. I've got 4 here. I'm really excited to talk to you about them. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the first one we're going to chat about is Bad Boys Happy Home. In Bad Boys Happy Home, we are following 2 teenage boys who meet on the street through some really fun circumstances. Throughout the course of this 3-volume series, they end up living together, forming feelings for one another. One leaves to protect the other, and the other comes back fighting. This one is just a really sweet, really fun series. Solid 4 stars all the way through. There was only like one thing in the art that bugged me, but I'm not going to point it out here because I'm afraid it will like influence other people. So I'm not going to do that. But overall, I really did enjoy my time with Bad Boys Happy Home. I do think it will stay in my collection for now. As I have some other things I fall in love with a little bit more, that may change. But for now, it's going to stay. This is really cute. These boys are just a little delinquent and a little rough around the edges. And I had a really good time reading and spending a little bit of time with them as they figure out what they want out of life, as they figure out their sexuality, all those kinds of things. This is very much a coming of age, not being a victim of your circumstances kind of story, and I really enjoyed it for that. Next up is a big one that I finished, and that is Beastars. Beastars is a 22-volume series and is now complete. In this story, we're primarily following the wolf named Legoshi, who is a bit softer than most people expect of a carnivore. And in this world, carnivores and herbivores, it's very Zootopia, but darker. Carnivores obviously are not supposed to prey on the herbivores. And in the first volume of this series, we see Legoshi go after an animal. And their like hunting instincts were pricked by this. And we also see that someone is murdered in the first volume. Over the course of the 22-volume series, we see Legoshi make friends, we see Legoshi grow and change, and do everything he can to protect the herbivores in his life. Primarily, this little white rabbit named Haru, who we get to know very well throughout the course of the series as well. The arcs of the story, I would say there are 3 clear arcs. The first 2 seasons of the anime are each an arc in the story. And then the 3rd arc is the final arc, I would say. I really enjoyed this journey. The art style is very fantastic. I'm not going to show you anything from this final volume just because it's the end. I mean, I can show you this to give you an idea of the art and like the back cover. But all in all, I'm really, really happy with sticking with Beastars. I know some people kind of dropped it in the middle, like other series that I've stuck with, but this one I think ended in a really good place. I feel like everything that happened made sense, and we're starting to see this world change. I do believe the world will continue in Beast Complex, which is a spin-off series from Beastars, but the canon story of Beastars is complete at this point, so you can definitely read with confidence and enjoy. If you want a little bit more, then Beast Complex is there for you. But otherwise, this is a really solid, again, 4-star series all the way through. I really enjoyed it. Now, a 5-star series all the way through for me was Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost. In this 5-volume series, this is a very unique Beauty and the Beast retelling for me. It has every beat of Beauty and the Beast that you need. But at the same time, it takes each beat and twists it a tiny bit to make it its own. The fact that we're running around on a floating castle is really awesome. There's so much to love about this series. And because it's so short, I really don't want to say a whole lot. Because telling you at all that it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling is going to have you expecting certain things. There is a bigger plot involved in the curse and things. So I'm really excited for people to explore this series. This is definitely one of the best series that I've ever read. This is definitely going to stay in my collection. It's an all-time favorite. I would like to revisit it and read it all the way through because I was reading these as they were releasing in the US, so I read them all pretty spread out. But I would love to go back and read it straight through and see if it's still 5 stars for me because I loved the art in this series. It is absolutely stunning. I mean, this just kind of gives you a look at all of our players there, so that's not super spoilery. But I really just enjoy and adore the art. I do definitely want to pick up more from this mangaka. I know they have Angel Sanctuary, but I know there's some tropes in there that I may not be okay with. So I don't know. I'm going to see what other series this mangaka has translated and available to us here in the US and go from there. But I definitely want to explore more of their work for sure. And I mean, look at this cover. It's everything. It's so good. And then the last series that I recently completed, even though this has been out and completed for a long time, is Maisoni Koku. I came into manga later in my life, obviously, as most of you know, so I had never read Maisoni Koku before. So as they were releasing these beautiful collector's editions, I read them as they came out. Just recently, I finished volume 10, and the journey that Goru and Kyoko go on over the course of these 10 volumes was really interesting to me. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the best series I've ever read. This is a solid 4 stars all the way through. I still thoroughly enjoyed it. This is definitely a rom-com fueled by the com. The romance isn't as strong in this one, and there's a lot of back and forth and hemming and hawing, and which is a very Rumiko Takahashi trope. If you've read Rumiko Takahashi at all, that back and forth is a big thing that she loves to do in her series. But overall, I really think that both of these characters grow and evolve in a way that it makes sense with where they end up by the end. You know, Goru's like this young kid who can't figure out life, and all of a sudden he sees Kyoko, this woman who's survived the loss of her husband and is kind of getting her own life together. And he's like, I like her. She's pretty. I want to impress her. And so he starts to slowly start to get his life together. And there's a lot of back and forth, and all the decisions that he makes are not primarily fueled by Kyoko. And I love that. That's what makes this series work for me. Because if he had only made these changes for her, it wouldn't have worked. But he made these changes more for himself than for her, and that's why it works for me. So overall, again, solid 4-star series. Love the art. Loved the storytelling. This series is a journey, and it's a fun one. So if you're looking for a good rom-com that's a little lighter on the rom, stronger on the com, then this is a great series to pick up. I can't remember if this one's technically a shonen or a seinen. So typically when you're dealing with a shonen or a seinen, they're not going to be quite so romance forward heavy, but they'll still be present. And this one is a really good example of that. I think it had a pretty good balance all the way through. Yes, it was a little more calm than rom for me, but I'm also someone who loves romance, so I love things to be fueled by the romance. So all in all the ones I finished are keepers, and that makes me really, really happy. I was afraid that I was going to end up getting rid of some of them, but as of right now, they're all staying in my collection, so I'm really, really happy. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing some of my brief thoughts on these series. If you're looking for a more detailed review of any of these, let me know. I would consider doing them maybe just for members. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know down below what you're thinking. And if you're here just because you love me, leave me a rose emoji for Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
It's been raining for days now. Been running like a child. Can't feel the cold. Well, I'm lost here with you. Lost in the woods. Lost as I should.